What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Another nice replay. I decided to throw in some Max C's in the Kobe Bryant deck because I was gonna play against my homeboy Bambi, and he is a scumbag of the highest order. He only plays try hard decks. So I was like, all right, he's been playing Burning Abyss lately. I think he smashed me on the last stream with BA. So I was like, all right, I expect him to play Burning Abyss. Yo, check out that 99 rating though. I'm like 99. I of course have 100 ratings, so I'm definitely higher than that. So I figured he'd be playing Burning Abyss. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to outfox the fox. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some Max C's, get those Max C's turn one, Burning Abyss. You know, they're like the special summon. Psych, it was just a prank. He decided he was going to play Magispectors. Now, the thing is, like, I know this guy's MO. I'm like, dude, you have never played Magispectors once, ever. So I was like, this doesn't even make sense. But he opens up really good. He opens up with Toad. He gets a Tempest, which is a Solemn Notice. You just have to tribute a Magispector. But it could have been worse. Magispectors, ideally, I've gotten sometimes about 10 cards out of my opening hand with Magispectors from constantly being able to like use Fox and what's it called, like Fox and Toad. Those are plus ones. So he didn't open with any of that. He definitely didn't Pendulum Summon. So I felt like I was okay. I was trying to figure out what to summon here. I obviously normal midfielder, use the effect. I decided to go with Dunker because Dunker is the one. I was trying to figure out which one when it does battle damage pops a monster or pops a back row, excuse me. And it is Dunker, in fact. So he tries to activate Rippling Mirror Force. Now I'm very familiar with Rippling Mirror Force because I play Yosenju and I do actually play Rippling Mirror Force and my Magispectors, because if you have an open field, if you tribute all your stuff and you have an open field, you want a way of protecting yourself. You see, I'm just playing the Kobe Bryant video that somebody sent me. I'm like, yeah, dude, we can get some. Let's get some Kobe Bryant, Lil Wayne up in here. So I make him put his the Rippling Mirror Force. I'm like, yo, you scrub, you can't activate it unless it's a direct attack. That's why it's good in Yosenju and good in like Cypher. Those are the best two decks. It's still pretty good in Magispectors because again, you tribute all your stuff and then you have an open field. So I set my Kazakhstan in, which isn't even really that good against this deck, but it does make it so that they can't Pendulum Summon if I have one monster. I decided to use Solemn Strike because he already had Tempest. I knew he was just going to go ahead and get a Tornado. I didn't know what the other face down was. I did decide to just go ahead and blow up the Mirror Force because I didn't want to have to deal with it. If I attacked him directly, if he didn't have a monster, I attack over Magispector Fox. The good thing is here, not only have I kept the Magispectors at bay, he hasn't gotten Raccoon, he hasn't Pendulum Summoned, so I try to pop another back row. This time he activates Solemn Strike, and what I was wondering, I was like, why didn't you use Solemn Strike the first time? Then you would have been able to keep your Rippling Mirror Force. Like, it didn't really make sense. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to summon Midfielder again, I'm going to go into Perfect Ass. Now, Perfect Ass isn't, it's not super great against Magispectors if they already have Tempest. If they don't have Tempest, then it's like, it's fantastic. But if they don't have, or if they have Tempest, then it's just like, eh. You know what I mean? You can't destroy the guys, but I believe you can still just negate their effects. So that's pretty cool. It's like a Solemn Notice, essentially. A walking Solemn Notice with, you know, a really good defense. Like the Dante style defense. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out what I should do here. We know it's face down, and I'm trying to think if I can game him here. I'm like, I think I might be able to game him. We know the face down is Magispector Tempest. He searched it out turn one with Toad. He hasn't really done anything with it. And I'm looking at Dunker, and what's it called? I tribute Rebounder, and then I get Dunker from the graveyard. That's what happens. Yeah, I must have added it right there. So I'm telling him, yo, like, the Kobe Bryant deck is too strong. You don't know how to play Magispectors. You need to go back to Burning Abyss. You need to go back to that. Okay, so here's the part of the stream where I'm like, all right, at this point, I'm undefeated with the Kobe Bryant deck. You know, despite the fact that I went a little scumbag through the max season there. I'm like, all right, you know what? The Kobe Bryant deck is too good for Yu-Gi-Oh! We're going to have to rename this deck Little Kobe. You know, Lil Kobe. Like Kobe, when he first came in the league, had the afro. Even that Kobe did ring. He won 3 championships. So even that Kobe was kind of OP. So I figure, all right, we'll go Lil Kobe. If he happens to be playing Magic Vectors again, I'm like, dude, just watch this. I've got I bring in 3 anti-spell fragrances. I bring in 3 MSTs because MST is good against Magic Vectors. You get to pop their back row before they can launch them. Or when Magic Vectors really lose is when they lose their pendulum scales. If they lose their scales, they're pretty much done because it's really hard for that death to recover. I decided to go even super scumbag and bring in a Mask of Restrict just for the fucking lulls. But I don't hit any of those cards, and He says, he says you can play against little Kobe. That's not he, that's me. I'm saying you can play against little Kobe because the real Kobe deck too strong. Yeah, that's what I think I was 3-0 with the Kobe Bryant deck. So he decides to play Burning Abyss, and I'm like, how did I not see that coming? You know, because now basically all of that shit that I cited in the anti-spell, they're terrible against Burning Abyss. The MSTs are okay. The Mask of Restrict, obviously not so good. So he goes Dante, and then he ranks up until he goes into Lady B. And I open up with midfielder plus UA Stadium, that's like the ideal opening for this deck. I decided to take Perfect Ace. Now at this point, I'm thinking here because you see that he just maxed me. Bambi knows he's trying. He thinks that I'm going to special, but what he doesn't know is I have the Monarch Stormforth, and I can get Lady B off the field without triggering her effect. So I'm like, okay, I know Burning Abyss is obviously a better deck than Ultra Athlete, so I need to take any pluses that I can get. So I'm like, okay, I'm willing to let my midfielder die if it means that you're going to have to take a -1 on your maxi, because during my next turn, I can Stormforth in the Perfect Ace, and I can still get the search anyways. At the same time, I can make sure that Lady B doesn't trigger. So I'm like, I'm in a good position, and you've basically used all your advantage. Like, look at your entire turn 1, you have 2 cards now. So I'm like, all right, dude, I'm sitting pretty. I'm going to get my effect from midfielder off next turn. So I think in my end phase, he activates Beatrice's effect. He sends a Phoenix Rhino Warrior to send a Seer, which gets him Dante. So he's restacking his resources, but I still feel like I'm in a really good position because I've got Perfect Ace. I can kind of just put it in defense, kind of chill. I can get rid of Lady B off the field, and it should be a difficult card for him to run over. Now, Power Jersey is kind of like a trump card in this deck. It's really strong if you have the right combination of cards. It can actually be an OTK card. Now, I have Solemn Strike set, but there's really not a great opportunity. You don't want to use Solemn Strike on Beatrice because then the fucking other Dante will come out and I'll just lose. Like, I don't want to deal with that card. So I'm like, I have my way of getting her off the field. Let's just use that. So he ends up sending Cowcap to the grave. Now, I don't know if this was stream sniping or what, but he has a 1 in 3 chance of hitting the strike, and he ends up hitting it. I'm like, this motherfucker. Maybe he's stream sniping, or maybe he's not. I don't play with any type of provisions that would stop stream sniping on my stream. It's rule number 1, no stream sniping, man. Rule number 2, no Noble Knights. All right, so he ends up hitting the strike to my hand, but still, I feel good because I'm like, okay, well, you just use your Beatrice up, and what do you really have to show for it? You have 1 Dante. I mean, sure, she can run over my midfielder, but I already expected to lose midfielder last turn anyway, so I don't really care about that. I'm gonna replace it with another search from the UA Stadium anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. All right, so I think he's going to go into a second Beatrice at this point from the first Dante, but I still feel like I'm pretty even in the duel, and I can get rid of 1 Beatrice. I've got a Solemn Strike to get rid of anything that I can't handle. He has no trap, so I pretty much can summon freely into whatever I want to. That was another important thing. There was no sign of any Solemns in his back row. There was no signs of any potential Firelights or anything like that. He had no spell and trap removal. And then at this point, I end up getting Rebounder. Rebounder was like the perfect card here. Like, Rebounder was the best top deck that I could get here because I'm going to activate Monarch Stormforth. He decides to detach, dump a Seer into the graveyard. Again, Monarch Stormforth doesn't target, so I don't have to tell him which one I'm tributing. But now, neither Beatrice really has any material. So he gets his Dante back. This is the same play that he did last turn. So I decided to tribute the one in defense mode for Rebounder. Rebounder has his little monster effect, or monster reborn effect. So I decide to get my midfielder back from the graveyard, and I get the search from UA Stadium. This is important because now I can get, I think it's Mighty Slugger, right? Yeah, I can get Mighty Slugger. I'm looking for the Armartes one, the one that is basically Armartes, and it is Mighty Slugger. I can get Mighty Slugger, and since I've got Power Jersey, not only can I get 2 attacks, but dude, I can just basically, I think I can actually OTK him because you like do double battle damage too, in addition to gaining attack with Power Jersey. And my Rebounder is actually 2,700 attack because it gained me 500 attack. So I'm telling him, you know, get wrecked, scrub. Burning Abyss isn't even good. he went all try hard on me. He's getting destroyed by the Kobe Bryant deck. So I run over Lady B. She will not trigger, by the way, because he is an Armartes, and he takes double battle damage. So he's going to take a mess of battle damage. My card is 3,300, if I'm not mistaken, because I gain 1,000 attack and defense. So yeah, any battle damage that I do is actually doubled. So my field is pretty stacked here. So you see he takes a bunch of damage. I don't think he took. I think he actually took two. Yeah, he took too much damage. I just realized that he took 1,000 damage too much. So I don't think I could have OTK'd him. So I end up attacking Dante. At this point, I thought I could OTK him, and I think I made a mistake. But he took the 1,000, thinking that the Mighty Slugger gained the 1,000 or the 500 attack. It didn't. The only cards that gain the 1,000, you only gain the 1,000 when a UA is special summoned. I believe it triggered during the midfielder. I could be wrong about that, but I didn't gain the 1,000 attack off of that, so he was perfectly fine not taking that damage. All right, so Power Jersey, when it hits the graveyard, because a UA that it was equipped gets bounced, it goes back to your hand, which is nuts. I was like, holy crap, it goes back to my hand, which is cool because it's just more fodder for Perfect Ace. So now look at my field. I've got Anti-Spell Fragrance, I've got Perfect Ace, which is a Solemn. I've got a Solemn, which is a Solemn. I feel like, okay, I don't know what you're going to do with 4 cards, but I am sitting pretty. And then next turn, I can just go straight back into the Mighty Slugger Power Jersey play again. So I don't think I cheated during this duel. Pretty sure. So I flip over Anti-Spell Fragrance because I know that Regeki is like one of his only outs to this. And I know I can negate it with Perfect Ace, but I'm like, if I can just stop Regeki before he activates it, that'd be great. He specials Alec, and then he goes for Farfa. At this point, I'm going to negate Farfa. I don't give a fuck about Alec. Alec's not going to do anything. I negate the Farfa, so that goes to the grave. Then he normal summons Seer. Now, he's going to summon, I think, Dante. He knows it's going to fall into a Solemn Strike. Come on now. That's obvious. He already saw the Solemn Strike because I accidentally flipped it over when I was trying to flip over Anti-Spell Fragrance. So I end up hitting him with the Solemn Strike, which means, of course, his Seer will activate, but he only has 2 cards now. So even if he gets back another VA and that's like Graph in his hand, like, you know, he has to special summon it, which means like what is the end game? What's he going for here? Like, no matter what he summons next turn, I'm going to fucking kill it. I am going to search a Mighty Slugger. I'm going to normal midfielder. I'm going to search another Mighty Slugger, maybe even a rebounder, probably a rebound, man, maybe a rebounder. I'm not sure, but I've got Power Jersey. I'm going to get a mess load of attack because of Power Jersey. I'm going to be able to do probably 2 attacks, and I'm going to get 500. So he just scoops it up. He knows that his Seer Search is not going to get him out of that situation. And again, since I had midfielder in my hand and he knew about it, he knew that next turn I had pretty much like the world was my oyster at that point. With Power Jersey, he just didn't have any chance of surviving. So thank you guys for watching. As always, dude, Kobe Bryant officially too strong for Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. Even if I make the Lil Kobe deck, it's still just too good. Thank you guys for watching as always.